So today is August 4th, 2026, and I'm happy to say that today marks 2 years alcohol-free for me. No alcohol for 2 years, and I enjoy documenting my journey on everything. Maybe a little too much for some people, but hey, it is what it is. That's what I like to do. I like to create, share, and connect. So I'm gonna do a little recap on the past 2 years. Some of this is inspired by some encounters that I've had this week. So I just thought I'd circle back on some of this. The first 2 weeks of not drinking were really bad. It was super hard because at that time I was deep into tequila mostly, and I was going through a massive heartbreak, one of the biggest letdowns of my life. In my romantic side, I would say, that was extremely painful to deal with at that time. And I said, you know what, something bad's gonna happen here. I'm gonna either end up dead in a ditch or arrested, so I need to quit drinking. I decided that was it, so I started hitting the treadmill, doing my daily non-negotiables. That was the start of them, and the first 2 months was really hard. Then after that, I got a little bit easier, and then in December 15th of 2024, I realized, meditating and on a hike, that I was sexually abused when I was a kid, and I realized that I was given drugs and alcohol to scramble my brain after the fact, or during, after, I don't really know exactly, but knew that I was given what was like alcohol and some kind of drug, I don't know what, in my Kool-Aid. Anyhow, once I realized that, it really made me not want to drink at all, because I was so angry, and it was a huge realization of all this stuff. And I started to try and get justice for it. I started calling other kids that I knew that this happened to, that I remembered, and people didn't really want to talk about it. Some did, some acknowledged it, but said this is too much for me to handle, things like that. And I completely understood, because all of a sudden it was just all this memories came back. Anyhow, I went to the police department and I made a formal statement with all this, saying about the drugs and alcohol in it. And time kept going on, and the police department kept telling me all kinds of excuses. Oh, there's a Chipino feed in town. Oh, it was the new year. Oh, there was a car wreck in town. We can't this and that. I'm like, okay, I understand that this is a small police department here. This happened in Cloverdale, California, and the abuse happened in Cloverdale, California, and it happened by my daycare provider and my baseball coach. A lot of you know of this character, of this predator. Anyhow, he was convicted in 2013, but got a slap on the wrist for the same exact thing. So I thought when I went in that they would take this serious, but they just kept giving me the runaround. Time and time again, I'd ride up there on my motorcycle, time after time after time after time. I went in there, people seen the videos, people didn't really know what to make of it, and I get it, I couldn't really talk about it, but I went in there with $50,000 strapped to my wrist, ready for bail, because I was ready for anything, because they weren't taking me serious. And I kept saying, I understand that there's a lot going on here in this town, and you're understaffed, but have you even called the other kids? Oh no, this and this and this. Well, I don't know how many months, I don't want to say the wrong dates, but we'll say 6 months down the road, 6-7 months down the road, something like that, they make me do a call to this character, and I call them, and they're listening to the whole thing. And this is against my character for that kind of thing, but when it comes to child predators, all that is everything's on the table to capture these people, because it's not even about me, it's about the future generations and the person still being involved with Little League and all this kind of. And anyhow, and I don't want this to happen to anybody's kid, because it was devastating to me and other kids that this happened to. Anyhow, I call him, I'm saying all these positive things that I said in my statement. Oh my God, he's agreeing with everything. I can't believe this. This is the best thing, best day ever. I can't believe you remember all these things. This was so cool. Oh my God, I can't believe this call. All this stuff, I'm just boom, boom, like 16 different things I'm talking about. And I'm looking at the detective and I'm saying, see, okay. And then I hit him with, what do you think about Kool-Aid? And he says, well, if you're saying that I put drugs or alcohol in your Kool-Aid when you were a kid, I never did that. And I'm like, I didn't say that. Like, where's this come from? He's like, I never put drugs or alcohol in your Kool-Aid. I never did anything like that. I never took advantage. Like, and I'm just like, looking at the detective like, see, smoking gun. I'm like, she's like trying to tell me to hang up because it's getting too, and I'm like, hell no, let the guy talk. And he just keeps repeating, this was a sober house. We never had any kind of liquor, any kind of anything in our house. I would never drug you or put booze or alcohol in your Kool-Aid. And I'm just like, hey man, this isn't a normal thing for someone to say. Like, all I said was, what do you think of Kool-Aid? And you come at me with this. And he just keeps repeating it. And then the detective basically like made me hang up the phone. And a big mistake of mine in this journey was right there, where normally I would have multiple phones and I would be recording all these conversations and everything, all the stuff that happened. People seen ones where I had the briefcase and stuff like that and didn't get what was going on. I get it, but I was just letting things out a little bit because I couldn't say too much, because I thought maybe something would finally happen to the guy. You know, maybe at worst comes to worst, he'd end up on Megan's Law and couldn't be involved in sports, you know, couldn't be involved taking pictures of kids all the time, you know, like that, at least. And anyhow, this relates to my sobriety because you'll understand here, but I'm saying all this to circle back on this for multiple reasons. But we hung up the phone. I said, hey, look, see, I'm not a famous person, but I don't screw people over, and I'm well known for what I do in this county, because I do good business and I'm an honest, hardworking guy, and people recognize that. And it's not going to take a rocket scientist for someone to show up find where I'm at and show up over here. And it's not going to be pretty, because I'm not around with this. Like, you know, I'm not asking any more questions. Like, the guy comes over here, it's not going to be a good look for anybody. And, oh, well, it's going to take, you know, a couple months and this and that. I said, all right, well, you guys better not drag your feet too much, because who knows what the freaking character can do. Anyhow, I'm calling, oh, you know, we have to submit it to the DA. I'm calling the DA. Oh, we haven't gotten anything. The Cloverdale Police Department's telling me, oh, we submitted it to the DA. The DA saying I haven't gotten nothing. Back and forth, hot potato for another while. Well, then the DA calls me and says that because I don't have DNA evidence and because none of the other kids want to talk about it, that they're not going to do anything. Except they believe me and they listen to the recording, supposedly. And I said, well, did you even talk to any other kids? Oh, no, we didn't, but we went off the police report. And I talked to a bunch of these kids, and they said that they never even got calls, some of them. And some of them just weren't ready to talk about it. I get it. Like, it's not something that you're expecting. Like, I wasn't expecting it either. But once you remember, you can't forget the Neanderthal type of happened. Disgusting. And I've been very respectful of these other people because I don't want to put their business out there. I'm freaking willing to talk about it because I don't want anybody else to have to go through this. Because 2 girls already went through it. The guy got a slap on the wrist and the small fine and didn't end up nothing happening. And they got psychologically fried. The ex-wife got freaking fried in the head from all this. I completely get it. So, and this is why I'm bringing this back up. Because after the DA said that, I was like, and telling her, I was like, what do you think? Like, I have a freaking 23andMe of this years ago? Like, what do you expect? Like, I've never heard anybody have a freaking DNA evidence from something like this that happened to from their daycare provider and their baseball coach, and you know, and the witness was horrific, seriously. And after that, I called my lawyer, and the lawyer's like, oh, you didn't get the packet in the mail? I said, no. What packet? They said, oh, we sent you a packet describing why we thought we were going to be able to help you, but XYZ, like statute of limitations on something with insurance. And honestly, I was so devastated in the moment that I was like overload on my brain. And the DA, within 30 minutes, the DA told me they weren't helping me. The lawyer told me they weren't helping me. And at the same time, I was told that I needed to move, which was a huge overload on my brain at the time. So and this is where I made a mistake. I'm admitting this because I do feel bad about it. I went outside in a panic and I made a video about this, releasing. I don't regret for a second, and talking really badly about the Cloverdale Police Department, which was very regrettable. And the way I handled it was completely wrong, and it was disrespectful. And I admit that, and I was wrong, and I am sorry about it. And I made a video about this, and I actually went to the hospital. And when I was there, I was so pissed off that I'm in the hospital and dealing with the brain meltdown of this, and this predator is out there, might be next to you, and you're getting your groceries with your kids. You might turn around and not even know this predator is behind you. After that, I went to the hospital several times because this is so hard on your head. And at the same time I stopped using cannabis, which had been a part of my life for many years, and also psilocybin. I was using to help myself through this, but I ended up abusing it because I couldn't. It was an escape route of, I was doing all these skits at the same time. I posted all these skit videos, which people thought was serious. They thought I was on meth. It wasn't. It was just characters, like making videos about stuff. And when I was on accident. I just put my camera up in my house and I just started filming this for fun. And once I did, I was like, oh my God, for half an hour there, I forgot about the police department not calling these other kids. I forgot about the police department making a mockery of me by telling me like I didn't come up there and I was supposed to come back, and all this, and oh, we have a Chipino feed, oh, the wind's blowing left to right today and south to east instead of north to west, and that's why I felt super let down by them. That's why people wonder why I'm selling this business, and this is all why, is because I don't want to be around here anymore. I felt so let down by the police department. The sheriffs couldn't do anything. It's not their jurisdiction. And look at what the whole thing with the other person that is in town happened with them, with the police department investigating for how many months supposedly, and then it took the FBI to come in. And recently I ran into people at Friday Night Live, and multiple people came up to me and said, hey man, we saw what was going on, and we're sorry. We feel hella bad for you that nothing happened with this. And I said, yeah, I feel bad for not really just me, because yeah, it wrecked my brain, but I feel bad for all these kids in town, is really what it comes down to. And anyways, I'm bringing this up because this has been a big part of my sobriety journey. And after all that, getting out of the hospital for 2 months, I was in there basically, really made me want to drink again, to be honest. And usually I would use cannabis to calm down, and psilocybin occasionally, feel a sense of healing and to explore what's happened and be in a state of gratitude. And alcohol was always something that felt familiar, and then I knew why felt familiar and felt like a safety and felt like something to numb. I'm just sharing this to circle back because a lot of people didn't know what was going on, and rightfully so. You just saw me doing these skits and didn't realize that it was an escape slash I was putting truths in there, but other things were just fun, like having fun. A lot of it, like talking about Dana Way owing me money. It was all jokes. Like I was sending these people DMs and messages, and a lot of them were sending me back like laughing and stuff. And not all of them were, but a lot of comedians were saying stuff back to me. I had a private story going on, close friends list, and on those I would put a lot of this stuff, and a lot of people were sending me stuff every day from all kinds of characters, like funny, like all kinds of celebrities that I was having fun with. It was a form of escape. So I'm just circling back on this to say I'm not promising that I'm never gonna drink in my life again. I can't promise that because I don't believe in that, but I can say that right now for 2 years I'm alcohol free. And maybe you've been wondering what's up with this guy and all the seltzer waters, the soda waters, the sparkling waters. Every brand calls them something different. And that's why I'm standing by a big wall of this, because after my 43-day water fast, I started drinking these and I realized these are awesome, especially if you're trying to stay sober, because sometimes water and other things get boring, especially if you want to have something low calorie. So that's why I'm standing by this huge wall of Polar and Salil. Shout out to Polar, shout out to Salil, shout out to Waterloo. Like none of them have claimed the kid, so I don't gotta be too loyal yet. You feel me? But anyhow, cheers to 2 years alcohol free. As always, winners like to see winners win. Birds of a feather flock together. Wise guys don't chase money. Money chases wise guys. And if one eat, we all eat. Stack 'em up!